The disastrous opening weekend for the Marvels has really shaken Marvel Studios to its foundation, and a brand new report from The Hollywood Reporter sheds light on who exactly is taking the blame, and it looks like all the blame is being shifted on Disney and not Marvel Studios. So per a report by The Hollywood Reporter, they state that Marvel Studios and Disney were very well aware of the troubles that the Marvels would be facing in the ultimate uphill battle. And in their report, they talk about how Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige and everybody else across the MCU was rather spread thin among all the projects that they had to produce because of former CEO Bob Chapek. And essentially the mandates and the amounts of project that he put forth when they announced that entire slate literally hindered everything, and something had to give. Unfortunately, one of the many sacrifices and projects impacted by it was the Marvels, which unfortunately ended up suffering the most. And then as another result of even more suffering, that's all compounded because of, well, the actors and the writers strike, especially the actors strike because they couldn't have any of the actresses or anybody doing promotion for the film because they weren't allowed. And further on in the article, they talk about how Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige felt the pressure and were mandated to deliver these projects well ahead of where they should have been, and also to pump them out in the specific release time and time frame, no matter the result. It had to be done, and this was Bob Chapek's way. And according to the reports, once Bob Iger came back, he saw what was happening, and ultimately the discussions behind the scenes led to 2024 only having Deadpool 3 as the big film, and them wanting to take everything back to the drawing board, assess everything, and really look at the bigger picture in terms of what everything is building up to, what exactly can come out when, and maybe what should be scrapped even if it's in production, aka Wonder Man, for example, and other things that are being taken off the table. And honestly, this isn't that surprising. People have been blaming Chapek for a lot of things ever since he took over, and this just shows you that I think most people were honestly correct in the assumption that he was going to tank just about everything to make short-term gains, which they did. You know, they spiked the numbers and hot-shotted Disney Plus and the MCU in order to impress investors. Same thing with Star Wars. But then, push came to shove, and suddenly, you got to produce 20 projects in 2 years. How are you going to do that? Something had to suffer. Here's what suffered.